Hey YouTube friends, welcome to my April sew and chat. Grab your project, get a cup of tea, coffee, whatever you'd like, and let's chat for a little bit about what's going on, what I've been working on, and make sure if you enjoy this, leave a comment in the bottom of what you're working on. I love hearing about your projects, your successes, and everything else. So let's get started. So March seemed to fly by, and that's been very exciting. You might recognize this project. It's been on my work in progress table for quite some time now, only because it is just a massive project. And I of course choose the slowest way possible to actually get this done. So I'm hand quilting. I would put this at full-size blanket, quite possibly nudging into queen-size territory, but that's okay. This is currently my 15-minute a day project. As you're going to see today, we're going to spend a little bit more than 15 minutes. Some days I get carried away, some days I'll cut the camera and go back to it later as well. So that recently, I must just start there, the 15-minute a day project, if you've been seeing any of my weekly videos so far, that project itself is me taking 15 minutes a day to just work on a work in progress. Now that can be, started out I just wanted it to be sewing, but when I got to the dragonfly quilt, mostly top, I just found out 15 minutes of sewing was still going to be such a big investment of time to set everything up, to do the cutting, to do the ironing, to switch everything around, that by the time I actually got to sewing, I'd already kind of be done for the day at that point. So I decided at that point that I was going to film the process of everything and just use those 15 to 20 minutes a day to just make a little bit of progress on those projects. And overall, I've been really surprised. Oop! Hi, Bean. Sorry, cat break. Sometimes when I'm sewing, they'll come up and bump my elbow, which means they need a little bit of love. And then they'll wander off for another couple hours. Come back, do it again. Anyway, so that 15 minutes a day to work on those work in progress projects has been very eye-opening in one, what I can get done in 15 minutes, two, how long it realistically takes me to get something done, like say cutting this many pieces, trimming this, sewing that, which I think overall has really helped me gauge like what projects I can work on in the time that I have available. Oh, now look at me going off camera screen. Do a little adjustment, and that overall has been just so refreshing, and it has really just helped improve my overall sewing. I don't want to say skill necessarily, but drive to really just keep creating, just keep sewing. Recently there was a Facebook group post that asked, how do you get your sojo back when you've been struggling with that? And the world is heavy right now, my friends, and it's okay to be heavy. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to be worn down. But when we create, we channel all of that into our focus. And that can be very, very powerful. And even in those little 15 minutes a day, I have found that I have just wanted to do more. I have found inspiration for other projects. I have enjoyed having shows on and other YouTube channels on. Which, let me know your favorite in the comments. I always love finding new channels to watch as background noise. Doesn't have to be sewing related. I also watch a lot of food ones. There's a couple finance ones. Me and one of my cats really enjoy a video game one. He goes by Flinger Foo, if you're familiar with the Ark series. It's a survival game with dinosaurs, you know. Super, super cool, super fun. That guy's amazing. I will make sure I drop my favorite down in the comments so you can go check him out. But just doing those 15 minutes really did, I don't want to say changed my life, but it definitely changed my sewing habit. I was able to get up every morning and I'm like, oh, I gotta get this done before I go into work, because when I get home, I'm probably going to be too tired to drag everything out. And most days, I definitely was way too tired to drag everything out after work. But it made sure I got my sewing in first, and that really has become very important to me over the past couple weeks of me doing this. Nope. Not sure if you guys can hear. There is a cat in the background who is apparently lost in a very tiny house. She does this sometimes. Sometimes in the morning they get a little extra. I don't feed them in the morning, and that's exactly why, because they are extra already. But that's okay. They always have dry food. They're fine. These guys literally, there's 2 of them. They are spoiled. I've had them since they were 6-week-old rescues. They don't know what want is. They think they do. They don't. They're spoiled. So as far as doing that 15 minutes a day of sewing, I've actually gotten quite a lot done since my last recap of projects on the table, really. The astrology quilt was finished. The dragonfly quilt, which was part of a sewing life with, I believe it's Sherry McConnell? Quilting Life? I'm sorry. It's her block of the month from back in 2022. And I finally finished that top. I don't know quite what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm going to try and pawn it off on somebody at some point. It was fun to make. The top is together. I will try to remember to add a little photo here if I remember to edit my video and I'm not just trying to get it posted because I forgot to do that. Happens sometimes. Life's busy. You guys know. And that's why sewing has become so important to me. This is my time to slow down, my time to focus and do something that I enjoy. And over the last couple years, I have excuse me, I have not been doing as much me projects. I was working, I built a business back in it was 2020 really, 2021-ish. And I had been working on pivoting that, there had been so much on my table. I had just put all of my happy projects, I guess you could say, on the back burner. I don't know why I nodded that one. I thought I was jumping there for a second, I guess. I'm only about half of a cup into coffee, so forgive my struggle. But it was a nice, quiet morning, and I thought this would be a wonderful chance to chat and catch up with you. But this year has been very different than the last couple of years. I have since put my business, which was marketing, emails, SEO, all of that, with the new rise of AI, working with people has become a little bit more of a strain than it was rewarding as it used to be. So I did put that on the back burner, kind of closed everything up for the most part. If you have any questions about marketing, email, and you have a sewing or crafting business and you want a little bit of help, I do still offer some things if you are interested, and I do love helping my community. So do feel free, reach out to me. I'll make sure I leave an email below that you can also reach me at with those questions as well. And that's not a sponsored ad. That's not me trying to get you to do anything. Like I said, I'm mostly retired, but I do know that crafting businesses do struggle sometimes with some of that because we're just such creative people that it can be hard to learn all the ins and outs of why is my email not being delivered properly. Like things like that are all things I can help you with. Like I said, I quit doing that. I've been focusing solely on crafting and more happiness. My partner and I are getting excited and ready to get to the point where we can move. We don't know quite which direction we're going to be going just yet, but it is coming very soon, like within this year. We will be moving, and that's pretty exciting. So a lot of my year has been focused on that, which is why I've been able to get so many wonderful projects started, worked on, and I've been so inspired lately. Now, that's what I've been doing, or what I have done, I guess. That's all past tense. And when hand sewing, I just do a tiny little single quilter's knot, if my camera will focus. Does not want to. It's just a single knot. I'm trying to get to the point where I don't have to, but doing that little knot makes me feel better. It feels more secure, I guess. And these two last little bits are going to be the last little pieces for this column of this quilt. And then I can just keep pushing outward and over. I've already locked in the top of it. This locks in the side of it. So I am well on my way of getting this one finished. Maybe even before summer's over. Now, let me go into a couple things that have coming up for this channel. You might notice my scrappy videos have been a little lackluster lately. They've been a little off. They haven't been posted as much lately, and that's because I have been working on a new series that I think you are really going to enjoy, and I've had a blast working on it so far. And that is, I am going to go through patterns for different quilt blocks and let you know if they're scrap friendly or not and how scrap friendly they are. Because in my opinion, there is nothing worse than trying to make a pattern scrap friendly if it's just not, if you just need too big of pieces, or if it's just too much, or if it looks too weird. So what I'm going to do is actually go through a bunch of patterns and work them out, give you the individual block specifications if I can. Not all of the patterns will be free patterns. Most of them will be. I'm going to try and keep this as accessible as possible. I am going to work with other quilters and their patterns, so you're going to see a lot of links to fun stuff that you might not have tried yet. And I really hope that it's going to build up a wonderful little resource for you as a quilter who might want to use up scraps, or if you want to use remnant fabric, or if you just want something different, want a new challenge. So make sure if that's something that interests you, that sounds fun, you want to see new patterns that are scrap friendly, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. I really appreciate having you here. Love seeing you guys every week tune in. And like I said, I have those coming soon. Editing has been a fun learning curve of my YouTube journey. I love making videos for you guys still so far. It's been a great time. However, the editing has been a challenge. I have learned so much in such a short time, and I'm still learning so much in such a short time. Every week, every video, I'm learning something new, which I love doing. I truly do. But some weeks, trying to get something to look the way that I want it to is a challenge. And some days I just say, well, that's going to have to be close enough. And I'll learn how to do it better another time. So, that's kind of been the holdup on this new project. I will give you a little bit of a spoiler. It came across my feed the other day. Jordan Fabrics, if you are familiar with her work. Unfortunately, she passed, I believe it was a year or two ago now, which is crazy to think about how long that's been. Her channel was one of the ones that actually got me into quilting. Hello, kitty. See, told you. They'll go away, then they'll come back, and then next thing I know, my elbow's in a needle. Yeah. Her channel really did inspire me to quilt. She was such a wonderful teacher on her videos. Even if she wasn't giving you the full pattern, like she really did like go through like step by step how she created these things. No, my phone doesn't want to focus. My bad, guys. But the first block that I am testing is one of her original patterns as a thank you to her. Her family is still continuing the YouTube channel. They still have a wonderful fabric store. Go give them some love and some support. I've ordered pre-cuts from there before and it's been wonderful. So I'm actually doing one of her patterns first. And it turned out really cute. I'm really excited about it. What I'm going to do with all these blocks, I can't tell you that. Because I don't actually know myself yet. So, I am thinking of turning those scrappy blocks into bags at some point. Just very simple bags. Or what's going to end up happening is I'm going to do another crazy scrap sample style quilt. And that might go for a auction or donation of some sort at some point. But that's definitely not a today or tomorrow kind of project. So for now, we're just going to break down the scraps and the blocks and see if some of these patterns are easy for scrappy people like me to alter into those scrap patterns. Another project that is on my table is still my EPP, which is my English paper piecing, which is that wonderful Road to 10K Hexies. If you have followed that project, you already know it's it's probably about 3 or 4 years in the making. And this year so far, I've made some good progress. We have almost the 3rd row done, or column, however you want to look at that. Find somewhere to put the thread scraps that the cats won't eat, which, you know, they will. Nah, these guys are good. These aren't my garbage eaters. So yeah, that's been going well. Give me just a moment. I can show you one of those blocks. Here is the most recent one. Got some cute little stuff in there. I do have a couple specialty ones that I'm going to be working on soon for that one. So if you do follow my Instagram, you will see those blocks popping up. Probably in the next couple months. They do take me some time. I'm at the point where I have to baste some more hexies, which I thread baste, so it takes me a little while. I have all the fabric pre-cut. That's why when I do my scrap management, I make sure all of my fabric is in usable sizes, and that does include my 2-inch hexie scraps. So at least I already have the fabric ready for that. I just have to actually do it. So I've been working on this instead to avoid the situation. Let me see, what else do I have on my table? My partner and some friends, we are going to be going to Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago later on this year. So that's pretty exciting. I am going to make a custom shirt for myself. I may or may not share that here. And then I may or may not make us bonus swag bags as well, with our Pokemon Go teams on it. We'll see how much time I have, because later this month we have another event to go to, which I'm super excited for. My partner's family, one of her cousins' husband's DJs, and he has a headline at a gaming convention. So we go there with them every year. It's always a great time. We have a blast. So if you are going to be at the Midwest Gaming Classic, make sure you let me know in the comments, send me that email or whatever, and say hi. I'd love to say hi to you. I do believe we are only going for a day or two, though. We kind of get in, wander about, and escape. Not as young as I once was for these types of conventions, so that's alright. Speaking of Pokemon conventions, old games, things like that, another project that I am starting to collect, I don't know if I haven't talked about it too much on this channel. I have a Pokemon card challenge quilt that I've been farting around with for quite a while now. I was going to do individual like wall hangings at one point, and then just the fabric I had didn't work. It's just been a whole process of that doesn't work, time to pivot, that doesn't work either, pivot again, and now I've pivoted in so many directions. I finally found my answers. So hopefully that's another project that I can share with you guys soon. Again, with editing, there's a lot I gotta figure out. I gotta figure out how to do shadows on static images. Like, it's just weird. But at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be really fun. If you're an old school Pokemon fan like I am, I'm still like 5 years old at heart, it's okay. I do old lady hobbies and then I play Pokemon. Balance. You're definitely going to want to stick around for that project. The concept is going to be quilt as you go, which is something I have not done a lot of, but it's going to be a big project, so I'm going to have to figure out how to do that real quick, because I can't do big quilts on my current sewing machine. Actually, any of mine I don't think are big quilt friendly for quilting. They can sew them, no problem. But doing the actual quilting, there's just not enough throat space. That's another video I kind of want to make for you guys, is my sewing machines, because, I don't know, I find them to be interesting. My heavy duty is just my workhorse, and then I also have 2 others that I've restored, or are in the process of restoring-ish. I don't know. The other one's dirty, I haven't got to it yet. It's just chilling for now. But I do have some older antique ones that I think are cool. So, you might find that interesting too. So, I definitely want to make a Meet the Sewing Machines video, as cheesy as that sounds. And yet here I am still hand sewing because I enjoy hand sewing. I have very fond memories of my grandmother when I was younger. She did embroidery. She was definitely not a quilt maker. This is actually about the one sewing skill none of my family had. My mother crocheted. My aunt started making quilts, and that's kind of what got me started. I pulled out a quilt she made for me, and it was the right time at the right place, and it changed everything. And I'm like, I'm gonna learn a new skill. But yeah, my grandmother did embroidery and cross stitch. My mother did cross stitch, knitting, crochet, I don't know. Things with yarn. I could never wrap my head around those things. But with quilting, I learned I can mix my artistic skills. I say skills very lightly. I did go to college for animation for a short while. I do enjoy art and drawing and painting. And I have found that I can do that by mixing fabric, which sewing has been another thing that I've done for a long time. It's actually funny, the first thing I ever sewed for myself was in high school. In home ec class, we made pajama pants. I made a pair for my father, and then I ended up making a dress for myself, and they put me in the fashion show. And here's the real joke of things. My mother didn't recognize me. My friends did my hair all up, and we slapped makeup on my face. And it was a great time. But we have 0 pictures of that, and unfortunately I think at this point that dress is lost to the seas of time somewhere in a drawer at an ex's place or something stupid like that. I don't know. I don't believe I have it anymore. But that does mean that I can make another one at some point. And now my sewing skills have become so much better. I do have a couple other plans for some clothing. Like I said, I may or may not share that on this channel, just because I really do want to keep this mostly quilt related, but I'm just rambling and telling you guys what I'm up to while I try and finish this block. Look at me stalling for time. So we went over the 15 minutes a day, which, like I said, way over for today. It's crazy how slow hand quilting can really be. It amazes and baffles me how some of these women have made hundreds of quilts, and they were hand sewing them, hand piecing, hand cutting. Some of my old pattern books are just crazy how they always had the seam allowance that you could pattern on with a pencil, so you could sew your straight line, and it's just crazy to think about how much time that would have taken as I destroy my whole house. Considering, here again, I've been chatting with you for about 30 minutes and I've gotten, what, 3 squares done? 3 little bits? Because that's not a whole lot done. Like, I'm not a fast sewer. I'm not like the world's fastest quilter, but I do think I make pretty decent progress. Working on my even stitches here. By the time I'm done with this one, I should be good. It's actually funny, I made a wedding quilt, a whole cloth quilt, for a friend, one of my best friend's weddings, and I hand quilted the whole thing. I did a whole custom design on it with their initial in it. Very 90s style with some extra adornments. And it turned out beautiful. However, the problem was, by the time I finished quilting it, my skill had improved from doing the whole cloth quilt as a hand quilted project that you could really tell there was a difference. It wasn't horribly noticeable. It was noticeable to me though. And I'm like, well, progress. So I'm sure it will be that way with this one as well. Some days my flowers on these turn out better than others too, so. This quilt is actually a mosh podge of thrifted florals that I got at an estate sale. I actually think all of the florals on this are from the same estate sale. I found a pile of fabric in the basement and I just went through and just grabbed all these cute little small floral prints, and it ended up turning out perfect. I've made a couple different things with some of them, but this was kind of my, I want to finish this up. Black is just a basic from Joann's. We miss her. She should come back. But that's alright. Support your local if you can. If you can't, you know what? If you have a favorite store, let me know in the comments. That way we can all find more ethical stores that we actually love and appreciate. I know Wawak, W-A-W-A-K, is a wonderful source for needles, threads, zippers, all of that. Not a promoted, not an affiliate. I shop there. I've done hauls from a haul from them before. I do feel like I'm going to have to do another order here not too long. I did get a little spoiled for Christmas, so I've got a little back stock of colored thread and stuff, so I'm good for a few minutes, but I have some garment stuff I gotta snag from them, so we'll see. So yeah, make sure you let me know in the comments what your favorite quilt stores are, and it can be any type of thing, even if it's a shop that's on Amazon, like you really appreciate this or that. It's okay. We're trying to make quilting accessible to everyone who wants to do it. So I think that's very important. I was going somewhere with that. Now I'm almost done with this block and that's all I can focus on. Those last few stitches I always like hyper focus on because I'm like, do I have enough room for one more? I'm trying to do quick math in my head, which I'm not good at math to begin with. Ah, yes, fabrics. And then the grayscale fabrics were actually fat quarter bundles from Meijer. Yes, the grocery store. Yep. I bought grocery store fabric. And guess what? I made a quilt out of it. It's super cool. This fabric over here is actually from a shop. I believe I was in a destashing group, and a shop owner was doing 5 half-yard mystery bundles or whatever, something like that. Some kind of mystery bundle pack. And I grabbed one and that fabric was in it. Mystery bundles and stuff like that are some of my favorites because you get fabric that you might not have picked out yourself. And you get to figure out how to use it. Alright, so that's done, which means it's time to shift my quilting frame. Now, this is going to be a little weird because I'm not actually using a quilting frame, guys. Big surprise there. So I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to show you how I move my quilt on this makeshift frame, okay? Bear with me for a minute. It's going to be a little fun. It's going to be a little weird. I'm going to try and get as much of the process as I can. I use pool noodles to hold it onto the frame. And literally dollar store clampy clips. That's it. That's my quilting frame. Poo noodle, clampy clips. And here's the real joke. This frame right here is literally just a part of a drawer set that the drawer cracked in the front, and I stole the frame. Oh, real quick before I go too far, I always love the back detail of this project. Like, because that's on, it doesn't look green. Maybe it does on your camera. My lighting's always weird in here, but it really does look really cool on the back. Pretty darn happy with that part. Front part's not too horrible either. You can see I did thread base this whole darn thing, which is why I wanted to lock in the top and the bottom. There's no thread everywhere. Let me just start cutting things. Yarn from a project. I don't even have yarn. So, you know, who knows where that came from. Let's move you back up so I stop beating the crap out of my camera. More thread. Alright, so it gets all balled up because that's just the easiest way for me to move it around. I don't have as much room. Scoot the cat grass 4 more inches away. Yeah, as you can see that there's some really pretty prints in this, and like I said, these were all at the same estate sale. So now I think I am going to continue my across. Is that second row done? That second row is done. Trying not to get it in my coffee. That would also be very helpful. Alright. We are on this gray block now. So as far as getting it on this not frame, I just make sure I have enough room to sew. So I'll work kind of one block at a time. Yep, these were the blocks. They're all half square triangles, by the way, in case you were wondering. And then I will just take my pool noodle, which has been slit, so I can just slide on. Throw 2 clamps on it, which I'm missing a piece right now. I don't know where that went to. We're gonna blame the cats because they're cute and they can get away with it. And then I will pull it from one side and clamp that. Stretch it across to the top and lock that one in. Pull the final side over and just clamp that. Like I said, the clamp is one short. What are you doing, cat? What is this cat doing? They want on here so bad sometimes. So bad. I love you. You can't be on that. I don't trust you. This cat particularly likes to puke on things. Yeah, you do. You do. You puke on things. Yep. So, that is how this project has been going. As you see, sometimes when I had a little extra thread, I'd just keep running it. Now for the dark blocks and the floral prints, I'm using this beautiful rainbow variegated thread. But for the gray blocks, I need to be 2 inches taller. Anyway, I have a variegated gray thread. Because some of these grays are more gray, some of them are a little brownish. So I really just wanted something different for this one. I also use my phone case, the magnet, as a needle minder, so I don't lose that. Pro tip, if you have a case that has a magnet on it. And then off we go. Keep sewing. Lost my pile of thread. There we go. See? Just gonna blame a cat. So I think that's about all the updates I have for right now. Like I said, there's been a lot of small bits of sewing going on. 15 to 20 minute increments at least daily. I've missed a couple days this month. My schedule just gets really weird. Over the weekend, my job has me do a weird turnaround where I have like 8 hours between shifts. It's weird. I don't like it, but it's alright. I do it to help my team. And sometimes on those days, though, like I can't get the time in. I come home and my brain's so tired and I'm like, well, trying not to stab myself today, so sometimes safety first. But overall, for the most part, I have been able to sew for at least 15 minutes since I started this. When did I officially start it? I think I started it back in mid-March. A couple days into March. I think today, at the time of filming this one, I'm actually at day 28, 29, maybe 30. However, the weekly ones are actually, don't tell anyone, they're a week off because I wanted to make sure I had time to edit after the first one, so I just started them like the following week. Which is why sometimes I'm sitting here looking, going, I don't know what I was doing that week. It was last week. But I have a system now, so hopefully those will be a little bit smoother. And I'll keep posting them. Keep posting that process and the progress. Like I said, I have a new series coming with scrappy pattern testing, essentially. And I've created a full breakdown of like how it works with scraps, what size scraps work best for this one, overall scrappiness. Can you adapt this pattern easily? Like it took me a little bit to put together a full breakdown of what I think I would want as a scrap quilter looking for a new pattern. So I really hope to see you there. I can't wait to share that series with you and see what we can all make together. It's gonna be great. Like I said, I've had a lot of fun like working with pre-established patterns. Like I said, from Jordan Fabrics, she is a wonderful pattern writer. Any of the patterns on her site are the free ones, the paid one, all of them are just fantastic. She also accompanies them with YouTube videos so you could follow along. Again, she really was a huge inspiration to my early quilting journey. She's the one who actually taught me how to do machine binding, which I'm still mastering. It's okay. I just gotta make a bunch more quilts and do it 100 times. That's okay. So yeah, like I said, I will leave a link for her channel in the comments below. I will leave you a link to Wawak for sewing supplies if you are needing anything right now. Their shipping is pretty fast. I've never had a problem with their products. They've always been a very good company to me personally. Some people say they are not the best corporation ever, but let's be real, we live in a consumerism world. Like, there is no such thing. Anyone who's selling anything for money is technically part of the problem, but that's an argument for another day, and we all gotta make a living. So, with that being said, I am going to finish this block, end my thread, and jump to the next black one and use up the last of this rainbow before I switch back to gray. And because, you know, it's a slow weekend, I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of some of my free time and get a little bit more done. And yes, I am 100% counting this as my 15 minutes for today. It'll be cut and edited when it's put together for the weekly update. Way less rambling in those, so if you want a sew and chat with less rambling, like, those weekly updates are definitely going to be something you want to pay attention to. There's just good calm background noise. I do talk a little bit, but not nearly as rambly. So, alright YouTube friends, with that done, I will bid you a wonderful day. I hope you had a good time. I hope you got some stuff done on your current work in progress projects. And, you know, let me know in the comments below what you're working on. Let me know if you're excited for that scrap video of the breakdown of these different patterns. Or if you have a favorite pattern. I do like free patterns, but if it's not, that's alright. Drop me a link below if you have a pattern you want to see a scrappy breakdown of. Alright? I'll catch you next time, YouTube friends. Bye.